Ребятушки мои золотые, всем доброго времени суток. Я тут спряталась, рассказываю, ну, чтобы не было видно место локации.
Hey everybody, Yannicka here. It's Wednesday, September 28th, 2022. I wanted to share a video with everyone of a woman in Mariupol, Ukraine. She is living in one of the territories that have recently voted in a referendum to join the Russian Federation. Now, as you may have heard, the referendums are considered to be illegitimate and a total sham by Western governments and powers. And it's very important to them to highlight examples of people in these regions being like held at gunpoint, forced to vote yes, and basically to propagate the narrative that people don't want this and Russia is illegally annexing them and forcing them and they don't actually want this. So I'm here to offer a counter argument. This morning on NPR, they played on National Public Radio here in the US, this is the radio station that is supposed to be the voice of the people, funded by the public, but really they're funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Annenberg, Carnegie, like all these kind of think tank elite narrative managers. So they're, you always, when listening to them, have to ask who benefits from them painting this story from this angle. And what they did today was they had some journalist in Dnipro, Ukraine, which is not even in one of the territories that are that were in the referendum, but she's there. She's has a friend that is in some Ukrainian-held territory that spoke with a friend on the phone, and this is what her friend told her. So this is the journalism we're getting, is what they told her on the phone from a friend, that she was Russian soldiers came to her house. She was forced to vote. They held the gun to her head and made her vote yes, even though she didn't want to. And then they went and knocked the door down of her neighbor. So this is what we're hearing on the official public radio station in the US. And people hear, they just lap it up. Oh, of course, Russians are evil. They break the door down. They force you to vote at gunpoint. So I wanted to just counter that by showing a real person who's in Mariupol. Now, I've blocked out her face because she's talking about how she's been put on this Ukrainian Telegram channel for traitors, and they exposed her YouTube and her Telegram and all these things. So I thought, well, I don't want to expose her further, but I do want to share her testimony, where she has no reason to be making it up. She has no motive or incentive to be acting. Like, you can tell this is a real person speaking from the heart. So I thought I would share and translate for you. Let's listen. So she opens by saying, here I am in the car. I'm trying to not show my location. Like, that's the level of fear people are living with, because they've risked their lives to come out and vote for these referendums, because Ukrainian forces will shoot and have been shooting into these territories. So she's in the car.
Делала очень большое дело. Я тоже голосовала на референдуме.
She says, today I voted in the referendum.
Там, конечно, полная боевая готовность, чтобы не было провокаций, не дай бог.
There is full military readiness everywhere because of the aforementioned attacks by Ukraine. So she's acknowledging that there is a presence of soldiers there, but they're not there to intimidate the people who want to join Russia. They're there to protect them from provocations by the Ukrainian forces.
Вот, телефоны у нас забирали при входе, но мне так хотелось заснять это историческое событие.
Their phones were taken at the entrance to the polling station, but she really wanted to make a video of this historic day.
Естественно, поставила галочку «да»,
yes.
О присоединении Донецкой Народной Республики, чтобы мы вошли в состав Российской Федерации.
She voted yes for the Donetsk People's Republic to join the Russian Federation.
И вот что я вам хочу сказать, дорогие товарищи, которые называют меня коллаборантом. Смотрите.
So here's what she wants to say. She says, here's what I want to say to the dear people who call me a collaborator.
Я имею право голоса.
I have the right
и
to
мой голос
make my voice
таков,
heard.
И многих, я вам сейчас расскажу, что на бюллетенях там писали. Может быть, это, конечно, криминал, но там прозрачные урны.
She says, so I have a right to make my voice heard, and I will share with you the voices of the other people, which it might be criminal to do, but the voting boxes are glass, so you can see what other people marked.
И я когда бросила свой бюллетень, все бюллетени сверху лежат, и везде стоит галочка «Да». Смотрите, мы жители Донецкой и Луганской Народной Республики, в частности я, да, житель Донецкой, прописана я в Донецкой области, город Мариуполь.
So she just says here, okay, listen, this is us, the residents of these people's republics, of these territories. I am a resident of Mariupol, she says.
Я имею право проголосовать, что я не хочу жить в составе Украины, я не хочу жить с украинскими властями. Вот этот вот киевский режим ваша украинская мова, и что мы будем там сидеть в подвалах. Нет, товарищи, мы не хотим такого.
She says the people of these regions don't want this government that has been in Ukraine, which she alludes to the statement of Poroshenko when he said your children will be sitting in basements. He said this back after the coup, back in 2014. And the people in these regions really have sat in basements for 8 years because Ukrainians were shelling them. So she's alluding to that. Like she doesn't want to be associated with that government.
Начнут там мне писать кастрюли. Не хотите, мол, и идите в Россию.
So she says кастрюли, which it means pots, like pots and pans, referring to Ukrainians who would put pots on their heads to protect themselves from incoming fire.
Мы пришли в Россию, но я сегодня встретила женщину, она с Бахмута, это Луганск, да? И она говорит, я, естественно, буду голосовать за присоединение Российской Федерации к Луганской.
So then she says the кастрюли, the people with pots on their heads say, you want to go to Russia, like Zelensky even said it too in some interview. There's a video going around that these people in the Donbass, the ones that want to be with Russia, should go to Russia. So now they're going to Russia. So then she moves on to say she met a woman from Bakhmut, which is in the Donetsk Republic. She says Lugansk, but it's in Donetsk. But then she goes on to say that this woman also wanted to vote yes. So here's another sort of testimony, which, take it with a grain of salt, just like on the radio or it was someone on the phone telling her friend. Sure, this is just a woman saying that she met a woman who said this, but you can hear some authenticity in her voice, I hope.
Вернее, Луганская Народная Республика к Российской Федерации. Ребят, вот обращаюсь, в частности, меня смотрят украинцы, может быть, даже СБУ. Просто мне вчера в моем телеграм-канале мои подписчики скинули телеграм-канал, по-моему, называется...
So this is where she goes into talking about the Telegram channel she found out that she's on, like exposed on, and that she's now starting to actually worry about the Ukrainians. She's saying she knows, she has like thousands, 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, so she thinks that Ukrainians are watching her, maybe even the SBU is watching her. So then she appeared on this Telegram channel. So this is just to exemplify that, like, people who want to join with Russia, like, not only are they going to be talked down upon for the next 10 years. They're going to say the illegal annexation of the Donbass, these people were forced, they don't know what, or even if they voted yes, they don't know what they want. They're all zombies. They're all propagandized by the Kremlin. So they're just, their vote doesn't matter or count. Like, so not only that narrative that she has to be up against, but her fellow residents of where she is, people who in her country who see her as a traitor and collaborator.
То ли враждебные, что какой-то вражеский, то ли вражеские люди, что-то такое. И туда выложили мою фотографию, мой чат, мой телеграм-канал и мой YouTube-канал. В общем, короче говоря...
So you guys learning a little bit of Russian? That was easy to understand, right? She's just saying that on this channel, someone exposed her YouTube, her Telegram, her chats, and her photo.
Меня в кавычках пропиарили. То
She says they gave me PR.
есть меня смотрят. Ну, я думаю, что если смотрят со стороны украинских там нехороших товарищей, то, возможно, и смотрят меня и со стороны российские товарищи, которые мне товарищи. Вот. Слушайте, придется, наверное, мне скоро обращаться в полицию. Я уже, честно сказать, переживаю за своих деток.
This is where she says she might go to the police and she's worried about her kids.
Понятно, да, почему? В общем...
And it's understandable why, she says. Well, because she has all these subscribers on YouTube, people are on her Telegram channel, and she's been sharing information about Mariupol and all these things, like, for months now. I've been following her, too. And you can see in all her content that she doesn't have an agenda. She's just wanting the truth to speak for itself. Like, she's a person who wants to have a certain... be part of another country. Like, I can relate. Like, I live in the USA. I love the USA, but I wish it had a different government, you know? Like, I wish the government worked better. I know it's wishful thinking. I know it's naive to think that everything should be better, everything could be better. Like, yeah, we're all just humans, but we got to figure out a better way to organize ourselves.
Ребятки, проголосовала я, ура-ура. Я сегодня узнала, что я имею право голосовать, хотя у меня уже паспорт российского гражданина. Вот.
So she already got a Russian passport, but she still had the right to vote.
Я зашла, нас проверили, чтоб, не дай бог, не было там... Мы же все-таки считаемся еще украинцами, нам не доверяют.
Interestingly, she says that when she came to vote, she was checked at the door. You know, they took their phones, but she was checked because she's still seen as a Ukrainian, and they're not really trusted by the incoming Russian administration. So that's interesting too.
Наверное. Нас проверили, значит, чтобы мы не принесли, не дай бог, оружие.
Just check them for
В общем,
weapons.
все прошло гладко.
She says
Людей,
everything went smoothly.
несмотря на наш такой маленький городок,
Even though we're a small
люди
city, there were
приходят,
so
и
many
списки
people,
вот такие
long
огромные,
list of
просто
people.
огромные списки. Представляете, сколько людей приехало с
How many
Луганской
people
Народной
came from
Республики,
all
из
over
Донецкой
from
Народной
Donetsk,
Республики.
Lugansk, from those areas.
Приехали
'Cause those
сюда,
are cities,
в
Donetsk,
этот вот
Lugansk, but
наш
they're part
маленький
of, like,
городишко,
entire regions.
и такие списки огромные. А еще вот что хотела сказать. В нашем, там, где мы проживаем, я вчера видела машину с украинскими номерами. И, скорее всего, номера эти харьковские. Там Аха.
She saw a car with, like, Kharkov plates, and so she's wondering if Ukrainians are kind of just out and about trying to sabotage things.
Дальше там...
Maybe she's paranoid, but there was... The first day of the referendum, there was a huge hit in Kherson that killed an amazing person, sadly. Yeah, and I mean, everyone who gets killed is sad to see that someone perishes another day, another, you know, however many deaths. Every Ukrainian soldier, every death is just could have been avoided.
Это мне кажется, это как Харьковская область, может быть, Запорожская, не знаю. Вот, потому что у нас регион, наш Мариупольский, там у нас другие номера, другие буквы. Так что вот так, ребятки. Вот я как блогер хотела, конечно, заснять, но не получилось. И женщину ту с Бахмута я тоже хотела заснять. Я же у нее спросила, вот скажите, кто стрелял? Она говорит, кто? ВСУ, конечно, украинцы.
And here she mentions the woman that she had met from Bakhmut, from a different, you know, town. And she asked her what had she seen, who had been firing, and the woman said it was the Ukrainian forces that had been firing, like, through all these conflicts. Just a testimony by word of mouth. Take it, like I said, you know, make of it what you will, but it needs to be out there to counter the Western official narrative.
Смотрю, и что я не вижу, откуда и куда летит. Я говорю, давайте я вас засниму. Она говорит, нет.
The woman says, I stand on my balcony and you think I can't see from which way things are flying. And then our blogger friend wanted to ask the woman if she could make a video with her, and the woman refused.
Не надо. В общем, забоялась. Все, ребятушки мои золотые, побежала я работать. Всем хорошего дня. И, как всегда, зов.
She ends with Zov. Now, Z-O-V has a lot of meanings right now being interpreted in different ways by Russians and Westerners. I'm not going to get into it here. That could be a separate video. But I also don't think I'm not trying to be any sort of voice of the Russian position in all things. I really just want to highlight this human person, this real person, even though I ended up still showing her face. But hopefully that's not, no one's, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's watching me. I can't say I don't care. I do. So I don't want to say anything too crazy either. But before I leave you, I wanted to sort of click through a couple other similar YouTube channels to this woman's, because there are a lot of them. There are a lot of people just speaking their experience, and you can say it's all Russian propaganda, but it can't all be actually made and directed by their, the towers in the Kremlin. Like, these are just people, individual people. So for example, this is a man in Crimea who gets on the phone or on the video call with people all over Ukraine, and has like debates with them, and he kind of goes into why life in Crimea has been good since the referendum back in 2014. So he makes that that's his testimony there on that channel. And then there's this channel, which is another woman in Mariupol that I've watched for a couple months, and she's really lovely as well, and speaks her mind. She's not afraid to show her kids. She's not paranoid. I really look up to her and admire her. And she, from the beginning, has been saying, I don't even care who's really like in power, as long as we can live in peace. She said that the government, the forces that control that area where she lives have changed so many times. This is just another change like that. And she says that they'll get through it and life will improve. Then there's this channel, which is a guy who travels around bringing, just also like sharing his thoughts. Just another, just real simple person, plain person, ordinary person. I hate these adjectives none of us are simple and plain and ordinary. We're all complex and multi-layered and extraordinary, and we all deserve to live in peace. But I'm not going to get on my little soapbox quite yet or ever. Here we have Детям Donbassa, which is all about bringing humanitarian aid to kids in the Donbass. Like, also nothing, not like a propaganda outfit. I mean, this is real. These are real people, and that have suffered for a long time. And so anyone watching this, I'm sure if you're still with me, like, that the war didn't start in February 24th. Like, that people have been struggling and suffering, and thank goodness for kind people that help them. And then there's Andrei Lisinka, of course, who works with Tatiana Montan. He's just been so courageous this whole year and up until this year as well. He's a real, I don't want to say saint, I don't know. I mean, he brings aid to areas that aren't reached by anyone else, and he shows the reality for people. Look at all these people giving their testimonies, sharing their experiences. Like, these are not, like, please, if you have any friends or family or that that just, watch mainstream news, or even not mainstream, even just all kinds of other, commentary and things that are out there that are supposedly alternative, but they're still, on this belief that Russians are just out to conquer the world and they're so evil, and anyone who's pro-Russia is a Putin apologist, Kremlin puppet. Like, look at all this content made by this person. Look at all these people he goes to, and like, these are not people that are trying to take European territory or influence the world and change, the dominant culture to theirs. Like, these are just people who want to live and survive. And that's it. That was the last channel I was going to share. So I'm going to finish this video. It's already gone on really long. I'm just starting out making any sort of content like this, so it's a bit of a struggle. So thank you for bearing with me, and I hope that I've added at least a little bit from the other side to in the pursuit of truth. Thank you.